What's up, people, and welcome to another Lee's Corner. All right, we're going to start today. Man, we got so much to talk about. I just want to let everybody know that, look, I don't come on as often as I used to come on because now I'm just trying to find things that are worth talking about, and I haven't seen a lot of things in the news that's, most of my audience, I think, is mostly in my age bracket. That's 40s and a little higher, maybe even a little lower. I have some people that's younger than me that do listen to me. So, yeah, there's that. But I try to get things that are interesting for the culture, for people. Like I said, my show, Lee's Corner, we try to do a thing where we try to tell the news and things that's interesting from a black perspective. We got the CNNs and all that. What we don't have is black media telling black people about what's going on and so forth and so on. And one of the biggest things I see here is right now, I'm in the studio in Wilmington, North Carolina. I've been here for the past, almost 2 years. And when I left, I wanted to do this story. When I left California, I wanted to do this story. But I picked up some more, reporting and some digging, and I found out some more stuff that's even more interesting. So, further ado, we're gonna run with it right now because the name of this particular Lee's Corner is gonna be "Some of My Best Friends Are Black." I know some of y'all are like, "What do you mean, some of my best friends are black?" Well, I just been thinking about, conversations I've had with a lot of white friends of mine in Cali and in North Carolina. Some of them even moved to California from North Carolina. And first of all, America's always been a racist country. We already know this, right? America's always been a racist country. White people have done their best to try to make it look as if they have bent over backwards to make it even for us, which is funny. That they think that, but they really do. They think that we're all equal now because we can live in the homes next door to them. We can have cars. We don't have to step off the street when they walk by us. We can look them in the eye now. We can work the same jobs. And they think that we're equal. They really do. They want to believe that there's no difference and there's nothing going on and everything else is just in our heads. Everything else is just you. You're causing the problem. It ain't us. Because we've done everything we could to make it even and all this other kind of stuff. And it's funny to see people of your own peers and your own age group that will say that you expect that from their parents or their parents' parents. But to hear from them, it's really kind of funny. I had a guy, I've been doing this show for several years, Lee's Corner. And I had a guy that was living in California at the time. And I think, what's it called? Can't think. I keep wanting to say Mission Hills, but it wasn't Mission Hills. It was somewhere in the Bay Area. And he was like, "Man, how can you talk the way you talk about what's going on when you seem to be living really well right now? You're doing good. Look, you got your own studio situation set up. Everything is professional. You seem to be doing good. Why are you talking like this? Why are you complaining about the situation of black people?" And I said, "Well, because I'm African. And just because I worked my ass off to get what I got and to get myself a platform to speak about what black people are going through does not mean I have not and do not suffer from stuff that's still going on." It is two things can be true at the same time. I can be doing well and still be having racism tossed at me at the same time. Both those things can be true. I think a lot of white people have this idea that unless you live in the hood or the ghetto, and these particular areas, that you can't speak on, institutional racism, anything, because we don't live that. Because, racism only affects poor black people that live in the ghetto in the hoods like Southside Chicago, New York, and all those kind of places. It doesn't affect rural America or even just black people riding in their nice shiny cars. And I hate to tell them, but that's just not true. Cops actually look at us first. When the last time you seen the cops going to the hood to shoot up a hood? They don't even mess with gangsters no more. They come for regular black folks driving their nice cars and pulling them over and shooting them. 99% of them don't have weapons. And when they do, when they reach for their gun permit, the cops shoot them. So please, white America, tell me and my white friends, please tell me, how is this shit over when this is not a drug war or nothing like that you fighting in the inner city ghettos or whatever. These are regular black people on the street that are being pulled over and murdered. Now, your answer to that is, well, it should just complied. No, that shouldn't happen. I'm not a gang member. I don't have a weapon. It is your job. The police officers work for us. It is your job to act professionally. And if I ask you, what do? You tell me. You don't tell me to shut up and that you hold all the power here and you pull me out of my car and slam me over my car or shoot me. That is not being professional. And does not go for codes and conducts and everything else. Cops mess with black people because they can. They don't think they know anybody like the mayor, the governor, or nothing like that. They don't fuck with white people like that because they fear that whites and Jews may know someone higher up. So they're not going to take a chance on degrading white folks. Those are the facts. Now, the reason why I bring this right back around to my friends, I have even a Mexican friend, one of my Mexican friends, he thinks white. He thinks the same way. You know, when I left Burbank and I came here, me and him had lots of conversations about things. We got along well. We talked about film and everything else because I still do film. And we was doing film, talking about that. But, you know, he would ask me questions about, you know, we talked about religion and we talked about other things and we talked about this, that, and the other. And, you know, I would send him clips on how the cops would treat black people, even the ones that were like, cool, okay, no problem. No arguments, no nothing, and how they would still be treated. Or how cops would just initially run up to a car and say, I'm going to blow your fucking brains out, when these black people had children in the car who had been accused of stealing something like a baby doll. And his thing was, well, you know, should have complied, blah, blah, blah. Or if you stop arguing with them, just do it. You know, he even went as far as to say my car could be a problem. See, I drive a minivan, so that probably takes away a lot of cops looking at me too. Okay, so I'm supposed to drive a minivan and not what I want to keep the cops from fucking with me? Is that what you're trying to say? That's basically what he was trying to say. I was being too high profile, I guess. I said, I'm sorry. I'm under the impression that we live in America where I can buy what I want to buy and not have to worry about this particular kind of situation. But he's telling me, well, I'll buy a minivan. And well, that's nice for you. That's really good for you. So, I mean, this is the kind of situations where he also used to say he wanted to be a cop. So he has lots of respect for police officers. And I said, I have respect for police officers too. If there's anyone out there that's good and normal and decent, you have my respect if you can find one. But the reason why I bring this up is that because there was a time when there was decency, when people sometimes in the 90s when I was coming up tried to hide their racism a little bit because they knew it wouldn't play. You know what I'm saying? They knew people like, no, we're not doing that. No, hell wrong with you. But since our last president, they've allowed them to peel the scab off that. And they're allowing people to show their innermost demons out loud. They don't care. Karens, male Karens, everybody. You know, they can just come out of the woodwork, say what they want, do what they want. And they feel like, hey, I can. This ex-president of mine told me I can say what I feel anytime I want to. I can look at you and I can say this, that, and the other. And you know black people ain't going to take that shit. I mean, you're just setting yourself up for disaster. But that's why you see this stuff going on now and why you got these rebel white people going out here being white elitists as they used to be and still are white supremacists. You got a lot of white Mexicans, some white black people, Africans, I should say. And that's people that are used to the norm. They're the people that don't want to be bothered. You know what I'm saying? I got my nice little bubble. Why are we talking about racism? Why are we even looking at it? I mean, guys, just learn to deal with it. Do what they say and blah, 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 blah. I saw this on the internet and I have to read it to you guys now because I think it's so interesting. It says how to tell if your friends are low key racist. Now, low key white racists and white supremacists are the same thing. And what I mean by low key, this could be your black friends that are too comfortable. This could be your white friends. This could be your Mexican friends that are too comfortable. But if you hear them say things like what I'm about to rattle off to you, then you got a low key racist on your hands and you might want to watch yourself. All right, black people, check it out. Here we go. We're going to go down the list really quick. When they say stuff like all lives matter, I don't see color. It isn't a matter of you being black, white, or green, or purple. I have 3 black friends. My best friend is black. My sister married a black guy and they have 2 mixed children. Just beautiful. There are 2 types of black people. He's one of the good ones. You're so well spoken and articulate. They have BET, black colleges, and Black History Month. It's not the system. It's the culture. It's all that damn rap music and fatherless homes. Race has nothing to do with it. Look at O.J. Simpson and Bill Cosby. America can't be racist. We had a black president. You guys need to quit pushing and perpetuating this victimization of the mindsets. He should have complied. Just don't commit crimes. Name one race law in 2024. Police brutality. What about on black crime? Chicago. We need to just stop talking about race. Okay, now you've heard all of these issues and excuses that white people give themselves to push forward to make themselves feel better. I just saw a black lady on Instagram talking about, she just wrote a book. And she was talking about how it was so funny how they came up with White Lives Matter. I mean, all lives matter so quick to try to water down the Black Lives Matter movement because, of course, all life matters. There's no reason to even try and debate that. You should never go back and forth with an idiot that says all lives matter and tries to debate the issue on that. Because the fact of the matter is, if y'all both going back and forth with that, nobody's going to know who the idiot really is. They're going to think you're both stupid of what you're talking about. The best thing to do, if you're fighting a war like that you know you can't win because somebody does not want to see the other side, you stop talking. Hell, it's biblical. Jesus did not fight with the people that were trying to lock him up because he knew that they were not going to see any other side of it than their own. But when he talked to Pontius Pilate, he was like, hey, this guy may listen to me. So he spoke. And what did Pilate do? Wash his hands of it. Says, I can find no wrong with this man. It's biblical. Do not try to fight or argue with people who do not even want to attempt to see your side of things. I can see the side of anybody's. I don't have to agree with it, but I can see their side. I can concede a point. I don't have to agree with it. That's the difference in people who are trying to understand what you're saying, but can say, I understand that. But what you're doing is deliberately harming other people while you have this going on. Have you ever thought of that? And if they're not willing to say, no, I haven't thought about that, blah, 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 it doesn't matter because it's that, well, now you're dealing with someone who does not want to understand, your side of situations. I have people all the time tell me, well, what if you don't need a cop? What are you going to do when you need a cop? Never needed one. Never needed one. Never needed one. And if we were like white people and we were allowed to deal with it with guns, we would never need a cop. So when the cops, when a white person shoots somebody, like, hey, he was in his house, he did everything he could. When we do the same thing, oh, well, we got to research it. First of all, is your gun legal? Well, why are you searching to see if my gun legal? Why does it matter? Dude broke into my house, I shot him. What does it matter if my gun is legal? Because you're always looked at as the criminal first. See, always. More black people have been so many. It's so funny to see black people get arrested trying to break into their own homes. That is funny. I've never heard of a white person being arrested for breaking into their own home. Let me see some identification. Why do you need to see identification? I'm trying to get in my house. Okay. Oh, you're going to look it up, see if I live here? And then you'll pull out my ID and then you help me get in? Okay, here. Cool, here. But they never do that. We're always assumed to be the liar. We're always assumed to be the criminal by a police department that we pay. And that's terrible. But like I said, today people are leading with their worst demons out here. And like I said before, it's just one of those situations that I thought I would bring to you because it's just crazy how crazier this world is getting, especially in the U.S. Like I said before, we have no problem trying to take up people in the Ukraine that are being oppressed and everywhere else. They're helping Israel right now. And Israel's idea of the bad guys that they're fighting, we want to go get them, but we'll kill all the innocents too. Hey, it's warfare. Sometimes that's collateral damage. I'm like, wait a minute now. When all the Jews, you didn't learn nothing from being murdered by Hitler or nothing like that. Nothing like that taught you any lessons. So you're going to do what he did and murder everybody in the region. And that's just it. If we get our guys good, if we don't get our bad guys, oh, well, we still murder them. And you're trying to get America to go along with this. You're trying to talk about, I saw the guy that represented Israel on the news. He thinks we should all be behind it. I said, well, hold on. Where was everybody behind, stopping America for slavery, stopping America from Jim Crow? stopping America for all that kind of stuff. Where were they stopping America for shooting all these African Americans with these cops? And I'm so glad and proud of the African American countries that have our vice president coming over there telling them to stop doing this or start being nicer to people of LGBT or stop doing this or that and the other. And they say, please mind your own fucking business, please. We gonna conduct business in our country, okay? We decide what happens here. Because, nobody likes the fact when the UN or anybody speaks out on what America's doing to their Africans, do they? Oh, they don't like that. Let's keep that quiet. When you do have people that bring up, well, you can't really speak on anything, America, because look how you treat your Africans. Then America's all quiet. You don't hear them defending nothing because they know they're wrong. But you're going to go over here and fight the whole world and tell everybody else how to live when you can't even deal with your own demons right here. White people are the funniest people in the world. They still want to talk about this fake news that they get from CNN and any Fox News and any other place that they hear. Every time you hear about black on black crime, which is just crime, what is white on white crime? Crime, right? See, they even created ways to make you scared of us, even more scared of us. White people have been scared of us since the beginning. And why? Africans don't have a history of killing white people. We don't have a history of lynching you, setting you on fire, tar and feathering you, while horses tear your body apart to scare other Africans. We don't have a history of hanging you in the Times Square, cutting your ear and your balls and penis off, because white folks are good for cutting off black male parts. They love it. I don't know why did they get off on it, but they love or threatened by our male parts, but they love cutting off our personal parts, sticking them in your mouth. Yeah, okay. So cutting off your ears. And you know what they'll do? That's the most sadistic thing that we don't do, that we don't have a history of. We don't have a history of bringing it out, eating food and bringing their children out as early as 2, 3, 4, 5 years old while we watch them burn and hang a man or sometimes even children. We have no history of doing that to white people, but yet and still they are scared of us. White people are the most dangerous people in the world. FBI just said that they're the most dangerous in the U.S. White supremacists, that is. Not the foreigners, not the people over, not the brown folks that you talked about, not all those kind of people from overseas that you want to talk about. The most dangerous people to the U.S. is white extremists. That's what the FBI said, not me, FBI. Now, we've been knowing this for centuries. We've always known it. But they just now come out with it. Now, back in the day, the Black Panthers, who fought for equality and tried to feed their own children and do sickle cell anemia testing to help one another, was considered dangerous by Ronald Reagan. Yeah, we knew where his head at was, right? Yeah. Okay. That was considered dangerous because it was always dangerous to help your own. You know what else we don't have a history of? Africans don't have a history of? We do not have a history of, a lot of people like to say separate but equal, right? A lot of people still want that, separate but equal, right? We had separate, but nothing was ever equal. The reason why we even integrated, Martin Luther King even integrated, I'm going to give y'all a lesson and take y'all back to school real quick. The reason why we even integrated is because of the fact that we were paying taxes for stuff that we were not getting. We were not getting new books. We were not getting any of that new stuff. Everything was handed me down with torn out pages. So you tell me, white America, would you pay taxes to get hand-me-down books for your kids at school? Would you pay for that? And then when you got out of school, you couldn't go to the white schools. That was against the law. And because that was the case, you had to build black schools, black colleges. Okay? So he thought if we integrated, we would get the same stuff as he did. And what did Martin say after a while? Which they don't like to talk about. They only want to talk, I have a dream. But they never talked about the other stuff that he said. I fear I have integrated my people into a burning house. Yeah, he started to feel it. He knew what was going on. He felt it. He said, I might have made a mistake. And we had a thriving community on our own. But what happened? The moment we integrated, it was like white people had better ice than black people's ice, the Africans' ice. white people had better hotels than the African hotels. We was just interested. That's all. It was doing something we didn't want to do. Think about it. You fighting to sit at a lunch counter that they don't want you at. Let me bring that into y'all until 2024. I'm in Wilmington, North Carolina today. I was at a Target that management told me to leave. Now, I was told to leave, and I was like, "Well, what's up? Well, you're going to be barred for a year. What was that for?" Well, they don't think that they think that you're threatening. I'm like, how am I threatening? Because you're just walking around. I'm like, yeah, I buy stuff sometimes. Sometimes I just walk around, my headphones on, clear my head, just to, It was like, yeah, but they don't feel safe with you in the building. This is Wilmington, North Carolina saying this to me. Now, I talked to people around, black people and other people around. They said, no, that's a very racist Target. I said, for real? Like, yeah. You got to be like old and black to go in there, like 60, 70 years old to go in there. If you're not, they're watching you all the time. I said, are you shitting me? He was like, nah. I was like, wow. They said a lot of this happened when the Black Lives Matter shit went on in 2022 and all this kind of stuff. And businesses themselves started taking sides and started becoming more racist and stuff. Because I said, when I was back here in 2005, this was not like this. At least I didn't feel it. It felt fine. All I needed was the beach in school because I was in film school. All I needed was the beach in school. And I thought it was the best thing ever. Boy, did I get a rude awakening. I mean, that's the first time I've been profiled in a very long time, including the whole 15 years I was in California. Never felt it. It felt like and I've even never been to Alabama or Mississippi, but it felt like I was like pushed back into there. Like, really, you don't feel comfortable. You feel threatened by me being here. Yes, sir. You walking around. Some people don't feel comfortable with you being in the store. I'm like, wow, for real? So, I said, the first instinct is to talk shit, get mad, fight. I'm like, no. How you going to fight these people when they don't want you in their establishment? I called their home office. I made a complaint about me being racially profiled, and that was it. He took it down. He said, yes, sir. Okay, we're going to look at this immediately. Blah, 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 blah. Told them the whole story, told them what they said. I did nothing wrong. I did no crime. They had the police there. Police said, hey, we're just here to make sure that you leave the property. That's it. You're not in no trouble. You broke no laws. I said, cool. Cops was great. But still, you had to call the cops. They got some new rules where they're not allowed to touch you, escort you anywhere or nothing like that. They just tell you. And if they don't think you're going to leave, then they call the police, which wasn't a problem because I was leaving. I said, no problem. My family won't shop here either. We're good. No problem. I said, and they let me know they had been watching me for weeks. I said, watching? I didn't steal or do anything. Oh, we know, but yeah, no, we never caught you stealing. Were you trying to catch me stealing? I'm like, wow. So y'all been watching me for weeks or months. Wow. This is amazing. I said, this is some crazy Jim Crow shit. But like I said, I'm not going to stay at a place where where I'm not wanted. So I said, yeah, cool. And it was like, all right, that's that. Cool, peace, done. But that's the point I'm trying to make. That's where we're at now. That's what people can do now. We're back to that. But like I said, I don't mind that because you told me who you were. I did the correct thing. I called corporate. I told them what was up. Boom. That's it for me. I don't have to go in that store ever again. They don't want my money. They don't have to have it. That is fine. I don't spend money where they don't want me to be there. That's why I talked about the boycotts back in the day when they tried to sit at the counter and all this kind of stuff. That could have been me because I don't want to go where I'm not wanted. I'm sorry. I don't want to go where I'm not wanted. I'm not saying they did it for nothing. I'm just saying I don't go places where I am not wanted. And I employ everybody to do the same thing. If that ever happens to you, call management, do whatever it is you need to do. Call management, make a report on racial profiling and see what you can get done about that kind of situation. Me, like I said before, it doesn't matter to me. Back the old me, get upset. I cuss everybody out and, fuck this, fuck. No. What's the point? They don't want you there. Why are you fighting to stay in a place where they don't want you? And you can't change their mind about you. You can't fight racism in that way and say, hey, I didn't do anything. That's fucked up, man. How you going to sit there you can't. They're not going to listen to you. They want you out of the store. That's all they're hearing. That dude said, yeah, he didn't want to hear anything. The man just wanted me gone. And it was a black guy who told me. How funny was that? He sent a black guy to tell me. That's what's funny. Had a white guy watching me, had a black guy telling me. Now that's some racism for your ass. But anyway, like I said, getting back to my friends, that are Mexican and white, I implore all my black friends to be careful who you think your friends are out here. Because, like I said, if those words that I told you, or those slogans that they use, these might be low key racist. Be very careful who you decide a friend is, and who an acquaintance might be. But I am looking forward to going back to the new facility in California, which I will be doing very soon. I might do one or more of these before I leave, these corners before I leave. But the next time I will be at the Los Angeles, I'll be at the Los Angeles facility. We will be in the new studio there. And I may be even bringing back a surprise. Big Eric might make an entrance. And I know y'all love that. I might bring Big Eric back for a while. We'll do a couple things. Might even bring Joyce back. That might be fun. We'll bring Joyce back and we'll have a ball. It'll be something new. It'll be fun. I got a whole lot more new adventures coming. A whole lot more surprises for you guys. It's gonna be great. It really is. I thank you guys for listening to me, and all the people that have listened to me over the years and have heard me. I have heard you, and I've heard people telling me that their moms have watched me, their cousins and aunts. And hey, thank you for watching. Please continue watching. Okay, I really thank all y'all for that. Really appreciate it. Because at the end of the day, this whole point of this show is to talk about things that you want to talk about. And that being said, this is my show. We'll see you next time on Lee's Corner.